What's going on, guys? So, as some of you know, the popularity polls for My Hero Academia come out every year, and basically what happens is, in Japan, fans of the Shonen Jump magazine can kind of like submit who their favorite characters are for My Hero Academia, and then, yeah, like I said, once a year, the votes are tallied up, and typically, for the last 5 years in a row, Bakugo has been the #1 character, but let's see what happens again this year. So basically what I've done is, as you can see on screen, there's like a tier list, and I'm going to just basically put the characters in order. So I'm going to start with the character who came 20th on the list. I'm going to put them on the lowest tier there. So the character who came in at 20th place was Mirko. So where is she? Oh, there she is. Yeah, so Mirko came in at 20th place. She had a decent year, I mean, she had a pretty, I'm not going to go into spoilers just so people can, people who don't read the manga can watch this video. But I will say that in the manga, Mirko definitely showed herself to be a very competent hero. Definitely someone who can do the job no matter what, no matter what happens to them. So yeah, she definitely deserves her place in the top 20. Now, the next character who came in at 19th place is someone who had a big role in Season 4, and obviously that character is Mirio, as you can see on screen. Now, after what he did in the Overhaul arc, I'm kind of surprised he's not higher than this. So we need to get justice for Mirio trending, because this is a travesty, and my boy deserves better than this for sure. But we'll see what happens next year, maybe his fortunes will improve. Moving on to the next character, so I just gotta check my notes here to see who came in. Okay, so it was Tokuyami who came in at 18th place. So Tokuyami, our second favorite bird boy, yeah, he's had a pretty significant role in the last year. I mean, not the biggest, but in terms of being a student, he's done quite a bit. He did a massive thing that I'm not going to get into, but yeah, he deserves this place in the top 20. So after Tokuyami, we have Toga. I like Toga a lot. She's very eccentric, very unique in terms of a character. I don't know what the results were last year exactly, but I imagine she was in the top 20 then as well, just because she's a fun character. And now, in coming in 16th place, we got Ochako. I think it's fair to say that, she is the main female character of this series, but in truth, I'm trying to think of major things that she has done in the manga in this past year, and I'm just blanking a little bit. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of something big that Ochako specifically has done, The current arc that's going on, it's been going on for the last year. So basically, if you haven't made an appearance or done anything significant in this arc, then that will probably affect your ranking, on this poll in some way. So, after Ochako, the next ranked character who comes in at 15th place is Jiro. Yeah, so let's go on to the next ranking now. Yeah, so Jiro came in at 15th place. She got over 600 votes in the poll, which is a pretty good showing. And as we all know, during the cultural festival, Jiro had a major role. She was telling people what to do, where to go, and then she obviously gave her wonderful singing performance. So yeah, I would imagine that boosted her popularity with a lot of different people. I would imagine so. Now, 14th place is a character. I'm sure his popularity has been decreasing year on year, and someone, you maybe correct me on this, but I'm fairly certain every year it gets lower and lower, just from what I remember, because as the story progresses, All Might becomes less and less relevant, But yeah, All Might comes in at 14th place, so just ahead of Jiro, but behind this guy, Denki Kaminari. That's right. To be fair, I like Denki a lot. It would have been very nice if him and Jiro were next to each other. Yeah, let's just do that. But yeah, Jiro and Denki, man, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I know some people don't like when I talk about ships, but I gotta say, if there's two ships that I'm sure will happen one day, number one is Deku and Ochako. One day, it just should happen. The way there's been build up there. And I feel the same way with Jiro and Denki, especially during the war arc. That moment, you guys remember it probably, but I just feel like that's gonna happen. But there are others that I think could happen as well, but I won't go into those. Okay, so 12th place is Momo. Yeah, Momo. In 11th, we have Present Mike. I'm very curious as to his popularity, like what is making him rank so highly above every character. He's in 11th place. That is not a joke. That is very good, especially when you're ahead of characters like Mirko, All Might, Ochako, Toga. So I am really curious about Present Mike's appeal in Japan. Why is he so popular? Beats me, but by the way, I don't not like him, but I'm just surprised that he's this high. But moving on from Present Mike, the 10th place character, so we're getting into the top 10 now. The 10th place character is Shigaraki. And I was surprised that he was not higher. Genuinely, like, I expected him to be top 5. I thought Shigaraki was going to be top 5 because he's had a crazy, and not even just the last year, like a year and a half really. You know, if we take into account the manga and the anime when he did that, he ambushed overhaul. I feel like Shigaraki's done enough to deserve a top 5 place for sure. Because it's a different culture in Japan, I'm sure their motivations for voting for a certain character would be very different from my motivations for voting for a certain character. You know, maybe they don't like him because he's crusty. You know, he doesn't have good skin. Maybe that's the reason. Who knows? But yeah, Shigaraki comes in at 10th place. And now, going into 9th place, this is one that will definitely shock you. It's one that I saw and I didn't think it made any sort of sense. But Shindo comes in 9th place. That's right. Shindo, who... I can't even explain this one. So he goes to that other school, and it's not Shiketsu High. It's a totally different school. I can't remember which one it was called. But he goes to the school where that lady, Miss Joke, you know, the one who likes Aizawa. So she's the teacher. Shindo is a second-year student there. And in the manga, we did actually see a brief moment of him ages ago. It was just before the war arc started, and it was kind of like a massive spread of all these different characters. You know, Mirio was there, Bakugo and Deku were there, Eri was there, and Shindo was also there. So we got a brief appearance of him in like December of 2019. I'm pretty sure it was December of 2019. We haven't seen a single thing about him since, and in the anime, it's been years, right? It's been 2 years since we saw him. So this baffles me. This makes no sense. My only logical explanation is that in Japan, this is just my theory, but in Japan, it's likely that among all the different ships, and you know, when people are talking about fanfics and ships and all that kind of stuff, I imagine that Shindo must be a popular character in that, in, you know, the fictional stories, because that's just the only rational explanation. You know, he hasn't appeared forever, literally for so long. So that's all I can say. That's literally all I can say. But anyway, moving on from this crazy selection of Shindo. In 8th place, we have Endeavor, who is a character who's been, you know, improving as a person for a very long time now. So it's good to see him, you know, in the top 10. I think he deserves it. And immediately after Endeavor, we have Best Boy Hawks, who, if the popularity polls are up to me, he'd be number 1. You guys know I love Hawks. My girlfriend even called me out for it in the video that she and I did together. But yeah, Hawks, you know, willing to go above and beyond, willing to do things that other heroes cannot do or will not do. So, you know, I rate this guy highly. Happy to see him in the top 10. Now, 5th place, Aizawa. Now that's a good choice. That's a good choice. So, not going into spoilers, but Aizawa has been the MVP, or one of the MVPs of this whole past year. Just all the different stuff he's done, all the different people he's saved, all the sacrifices he's made. He is the GOAT. So yeah, I love Aizawa. I'm happy to see him in the top 5. But with that said, how many characters do we have left? We have 5 characters left. Well, that shouldn't be right. Surely there should be 4 characters left. Huh. Oh my god, guys. I made a total mistake. I skipped over Hawk. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Okay, so Aizawa is actually, he's still 5th, and Hawks is 7th, which means that I skipped someone, and that person was Kirishima. How did I miss out Kirishima? I literally just skipped over him. Do I secretly, like, subconsciously not like him? I don't know how I missed him, but yeah, Kirishima came in at 6th place. So he's above Hawks, but behind Aizawa. So yeah, not surprising there. Definitely not surprising like what Shindo was. So yeah, we got 4 characters left, as it should be. Good thing I realized that now. So 4th place, Ida. Now, Ida is a funny one because I'm fairly certain that Ida has always been popular in Japan. And in the last few popularity polls, even when he's not doing much in the manga or anime, he's always been popular. And my theory for that has always been that kind of like the target audience for My Hero Academia maybe like sees a lot of themselves in Tenya Ida. Because I remember that Sir Naitai, Horikoshi said that Sir Naitai was meant to be a caricature of a typical Japanese man. And I feel like, this is just my intuition, this is my gut feeling, but I feel like that same principle for Sir Naitai could be applied to Ida, but for a typical Japanese teenage boy. So I feel like many of the readers of My Hero in Japan relate to Tenya Ida in some way. Maybe they act like him, maybe they know people who act like him and they just kind of endearing to them. I can't, all I can say with certainty is that if we were doing a popularity poll in the US or the UK, I doubt Tenya would be 4th place. I highly doubt it. So top 3. I mean, you knew it would be these guys, right? Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. But in what order will they come? Because, like I said, Bakugo's been number 1 for a long time. Normally, Deku's 2nd place. But how is it going to go this year? Is it going to be any different? 3rd place on the list is I'm just joking. It's Todoroki. He's in 3rd place. It's not even just the fans who rate him in 3rd place. I mean, in the show itself, Deku gets the most attention as the main character. Bakugo gets the 2nd most attention as his main direct rival. And then Todoroki's kind of like the 3rd character who's directly behind them, But for now, Todoroki is still in 3rd place. So, this is the moment of truth. This is it, right here. With 8,115 votes, which is a lot, we have Deku. So Deku comes in as 2nd place. He couldn't do it. He tried. Deku did try. But he was still over, over 6,000 votes behind Bakugo. Whew. I mean, it's going to be hard to overtake that. Deku gets the most focus in the manga. So I don't know what more he needs to overtake Bakugo, to close that gap between them. I don't know what he needs, but whatever it is, he needs to implement it in the coming year. Because even with Deku's new developments, his abilities, which I will not go into, but you know what I'm talking about, even with everything that's happening, he still can't surpass Bakugo. So, as you would guess, Bakugo is number 1 with over 14,000 votes. Basically 15,000. I mean, yeah, when I'm looking at these numbers, basically 15,000. So, I mean, that's 7,000 votes clear of Deku then. So honestly, this is just crazy. The fact that Bakugo is this popular is crazy. At the beginning of the show, when I started watching, Bakugo was not a character who endeared himself to me. Like, I didn't really like Bakugo. As time has progressed, I've begun to find his character more and more interesting. He is definitely growing. That is undeniable. He's definitely growing as a person. We saw it during the remedial course. He told that kid, you need to learn from your mistakes. You don't look down on other people. And we can see from then onwards, and with developments in the manga, with him doing things that he typically wouldn't have done in the past, I think Bakugo is going to become a great hero. So I can definitely see why his popularity is so high. But still though, that's 6 years in a row he's won. Do I think he's been the best character for 6 years in a row? Hell no. Not 6 years in a row. But this is what the people want. This is what the fans in Japan like. And yeah, I'm pretty sure even Horikoshi is surprised at how popular Bakugo is. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So thank you guys for watching. These were the top 20 characters officially rated by the Shonen Jump poll in Japan. Well done to you Bakugo stans. I know this is a night to celebrate. But to everyone else, and also to the Bakugo stans, peace out.